7 episodes. This is episode number 7 of In the Bonus. Isis Young, Kim Adams, and myself, Meghan Caffrey, are joining you tonight. No Lisa tonight, so it's just the Three Musketeers. How's it going, ladies?
It's going well. We're basketball's slowing down a little bit these next couple weeks with finals, our student athletes in finals, getting ready for the holidays, but still lots of excitement going on. We've got a lot to discuss.
A lot of excitement. We have to, before we get really into it, we have to talk about your weekend, Ice, the game you were at, the traveling you did, what you got to experience with women's basketball. Let's give the fans a little bit of a recap.
Yeah, it's been a really good week. So last week I had Toledo. I was in Toledo. First time ever being in Toledo. I flew into Detroit and then had to drive about 50 minutes to Toledo. So it's a little bit of like a lot because I guess people don't directly fly into Toledo. But it was Michigan at Toledo women's basketball on CBS Sports. It was Toledo's first regular season game on national TV ever.
Whoa.
Ever. I think on one hand I was clapping and I was happy because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm happy to be here and be a part of this. It was a sellout crowd, 7,000 plus people. There was also a whiteout, so everyone was like synchronized. It looked great. And then they performed well. I mean, they beat Michigan and had no problem and controlled the entire game, up double digits the entire game. I just was really thankful for like the community. It's really nice when you pop into like a basketball community, you know, and a lot of other schools, right? It's like football is king and then basketball and anything else is like underneath that. But Toledo is a community where it's just basketball. Like that is what these people are here for. That is what they celebrate. So I really enjoyed talking to head coach Trisha Collop. She told me this story, guys, of how she went to the league and the coaches around the league saying, hey, we are too good of a conference in the MAC to not get national games as regular season games. And she said, it doesn't have to be us. Like we have a really good matchup against Michigan. They also beat Michigan last year when Michigan was 9-0 undefeated at number 14 in the country last year. So they beat them in Ann Arbor. So this game was home and then they beat them again. So they kind of have Michigan's number at this point. Yeah. But she told me the story of how she went to the other coaches and said, let's put together our best games of the season and see which one that we can push forward for a national game. And it was between this game and then Ball State and Notre Dame that also happened last week. And so it just was really cool to be a part of history, but also like, I hate that that's history. You know, like this is a team that has won multiple regular season championships. Like they were in the tournament last year. They've won games in the tournament. So it's like, how have we not seen them on national TV? Like they produce such a good product. But we just got to keep pushing the game forward. But it was a really, really cool experience.
Sounds like they'll be getting more games on TV. I hope so.
Yeah.
I felt the same way though.
I think so.
Yeah, Ice. I felt the same way a couple weeks ago when I had Bowling Green was playing at Iowa. I was on that game, and is that why am I blanking on the conference? Is that also the MAC? That's also the MAC, I think, right? Bowling Green. I think it's the MAC, but I felt the same way. I was like, this is such a fun way to play. The players were amazing to talk to. They're really competitive teams. Yeah. I've had that same way about some of these mid-major teams, and because some of the men's conferences get more games, we need to keep elevating the women's game, not just with the major conferences all the way down.
So true. Ice, we need to know, since I feel like we're always asking players whenever they come on about eats and everything. Was there a hot spot that you went to while you were there?
Oh, great question. So shout out to Mark Schindler, friend of mine in WNBA, now that I have a hoodie on, in the W community, a writer, does such a good job covering women's basketball, college women's basketball as well. I put out a post on X to like all of my foodies. I do this before I travel anywhere. Like, hey, who's got suggestions on where we can eat? And so Mark Schindler suggested San Marcos, like a Mexican spot downtown. And so, tacos before a game is always dope. It was also Taco Tuesday, so it was very fitting. It was good food out. I really like Toledo. It had a nice vibe. And the arena was beautiful.
Great
stuff. We love it. Kim, tell us what is exciting you in women's basketball now? What this past week really stood out to you? What are you fancying right now.
Yeah, well, I think I'll keep it within the Big East for now. There weren't too many shocking results nationally this week. I was impressed by Utah's fight against South Carolina. UNLV, a team that is on the rise, entered the rankings. They're undefeated. We may hint a Big East team that they're going to see later this week. But in terms of the Big East, kind of a two-pronged answer here. I think it was a great week for UConn. We know that they have been going through it, battling the ups and downs, different injury news, players in and out. But I thought they had a really successful 2-0 week. They played against Ball State, which was a cool game because Nkumu's sister was on the team. What stands out to me about that game, really it seems that the chemistry is growing in terms of they know they have players that are not going to be with them, whether it's for a short amount of time, the full season in the case of AZ Fudd. I'm starting to see more chemistry come from the UConn Huskies, and that includes the depth of players coming off the bench. So in the Ball State game, they had 5 players in double figures. As a team, they shot 59% from the field, and that was a 90-63 win. And Ball State, the only losses they have are against UConn and Notre Dame. So that is a solid Ball State team. And then UConn turned around just a couple days ago and beat a top 25 team in North Carolina. It was a little bit of a shaky, tight first half, and then they really looked good in that second half. Paige was incredible, 26 points, 11 of 14 shooting. And then we're seeing kind of a reawakening of Aaliyah Edwards, I think. We had mentioned the couple games she had down in, I believe it was the Cayman Islands. She didn't have a great tournament down there. I had a feeling that Gino was challenging her to bring more. So she had a double-double in that UNC win, 16 points, 11 rebounds. So I think it was a great week for UConn. I think that UNC game could have kind of been a make or break moment, as much as you don't want to put too much pressure on one game, especially early in the season. But just how things have gone for them, I think that win is going to take them far. So then just kind of looking at the top tier of the Big East, which I'm considering the 3 teams that are ranked, starting with UConn at 17, Marquette at 19. They are still 9-0. They had an impressive road win. They had to kind of eke one out at Illinois State. They had to pray a little bit. Illinois State had a wide open 3 at the buzzer that would have given Marquette their first loss of the season. Sometimes you just need a little magic in the air. So they win that one. They're at 19 in the poll. And then Creighton, they move up a couple spots. They had a tough road game. They won at Wyoming. They are now 7-1. They've been cruising the last couple weeks. So I'm really liking how this top tier of the Big East is looking right now. You have 3 teams in the top 20. UConn looks like they're starting to figure things out a little bit. And Marquette and Creighton have really just been dominant. And that is setting up for what is a tremendous Big East opener. If you're watching this on Wednesday when it drops, the game is tonight. We have the Big East Conference opener, which also happens to be a top 20 showdown. Creighton visiting Marquette, and we're going to throw it to Ice here to give us a little bit of a deep dive on what we can expect in this big-time matchup.
Oh, I love this for the Big East. I love this. This is the first time since 2012-2013 season that the Big East has 3 teams that are in the top 20. It is just honestly strengthening the rest of the conference to get better and the conference to grow as a whole. So I'm excited for this matchup. And this matchup features 2 teams that have been tested in the regular season and are doing well. We talked about Marquette, 9-0. They've been soaring. Like the Eagles have been soaring. I feel like they look like a well-oiled machine. There's no worries. 4 players that average double figures. 1 player that averages 9.5 points per game. I mean, their starting 5 has been very solid. They're a team where you have to guard all 5 in order to win the game. And then on the other side for Creighton, I mean, it's the big 3. Like I feel like there's no bigger 3 that we know of right now than this big 3. And Lauren Jensen, Emma Ronsiek, and Morgan Molly. Those 3 guys combined for 51 points per game.
Amazing.
Like 3 players combined for 51 points per game. So in logic, you really think if we just stop 1 and let the other 2 do what they do, fine. But it's not going to work because that's happened before. Teams have decided like, oh, we're just going to key on Morgan Molly, and then Emma Ronsiek will have a double-double and Lauren Jensen will drop 30, and then you'll still lose the game. So here's what I'm going to say in terms of keys, like for both teams. For Creighton, it's all about defense. We know that they can score at a high clip, but they have to make sure that they can defend. They have to limit penetration in the paint. Good things happen for the Golden Eagles when they get the ball in the paint and they can play inside out. So for Creighton, it's like your defense has to travel right now. It's conference play. Your defense has to travel right now. Mm-hmm. And on the other side for Marquette, continue to get good shot selection offensively and take care of the ball. And then defensively, like own the boards. If they can make sure that Creighton is one and done and they can really command the paint, they'll be able to score in transition. Their game will flow because they have control of the tempo. That's really what Meghan Duffy's teams do so well. They control the tempo. They get you to play their way. I'm so excited. I feel like it's two of the best calculated teams, two of the best coaches in this conference. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I'm a couple just things to add on. I'm very intrigued by like the individual matchups in this game. I'm intrigued to see how Marquette defends Morgan Molly specifically, just because she has the ability to be an inside out player. She's really come into using her size inside, but I want to know if Liza Carlin is going to be matched up with her, because Liza Carlin brings probably even a little bit more size. I think Liza's 6'2", another player that could go inside out. So if those two end up being matched up together, I'm looking forward to that. And then when you're playing Marquette now, like defending Mackenzie Hare on the 3-point line is a huge focus of what you have to do. And that's not really something that teams have had to really key in on against Marquette in the last couple of years. Mackenzie had a really nice freshman year, but she has grown leaps and bounds. I forgot to look at the updated numbers, but at our podcast last week, she was leading the nation in percentage. Ice, it looks like you may have the latest numbers here.
I just know she's knocked down 35 triples on the season, which is almost at 4 a game.
Yeah.
Like she's up there.
She's up there with the national leaders. So that is a huge focus for anyone defending Marquette. And then just as you mentioned, Ice, like the depth is very fascinating, because it seems like Marquette has a little bit more scoring depth. But if you have like multiple players on Creighton that can get you 30, it kind of balances things out. So this is maybe the matchup in the Big East I'm most looking forward to this season, Creighton and Marquette, and we are getting treated to it on opening night of Big East play.
So here's my question: do I put you two?
Don't
on
ask
me
to predict.
Don't do it. Should we have another? Like, should this?
I'd like to keep my job.
Coffee ice cream live on? Like, should we have just a hot take on a couple? Maybe not who like wins and loses, but I don't know, like, give me a point range for a player or something like that. Or are we getting into something very we're not allowed to do?
You want predictions, but just not the wins.
I'm going to predict. I'm going to give a little bit of a take. I think Emma Ronsiek is going to have a huge game. I don't know why. I'm feeling Emma Ronsiek. I think they have a good matchup for Morgan Molly, as I mentioned. They have good guards that can defend Laura Jensen, Rose Nkumu. I think Emma Ronsiek is where they might be able to exploit a little bit. I would assume it's going to be Franny Hottinger. Sorry, I still have to get that right. Newer to the Big East, not familiar with the style of Creighton. So I'm not saying Creighton's winning the game. I'm not making a prediction, but something's telling me Emma Ronsiek is going to have a big game in this one. It's just an inclination.
Like, are we thinking like 16 points plus or minus?
I would say a 16-point double-double. Like 16 or greater. 16 or greater double-double.
Yeah. Ice. We're going to get a little...
Yeah. On the other side, I'm predicting that Rose Nkumu will have a good game. I think Creighton has struggled with defending guards that are really good off the bounce, that do a good job, getting in the lane. And everyone knows that to focus on Jordan King, and everyone knows to focus on Mackenzie Hare. And so it's like, who could become your X factor? I think this is a game where Rose really controls the tempo, shares the love, and gets other people open good shots. But honestly, like make no mistake about it. Whatever team plays defense, like that's the game. Whatever team decides to show up and is committed to the defensive side of the basketball will win, because both of these teams could score all day. Like Marquette leads the Big East in scoring, 81 points per game. Creighton is 77 points per game. Like they're going to score the basketball, but what team is going to lock up and play defense? That's what I'd like to see.
Love it. Love it. Well, and you know what? I love that you brought up defense, Ice, because our guest on In the Bonus this week, guess what we talked to her about? Defense. We had the opportunity to talk with Providence's Olivia Olsen. She chatted with us about defense for her specifically, for her team, and what the Friars are looking like this season. Let's listen in. The Friars went 2-0 this past week, led by Olivia Olsen, who joins us on In the Bonus right now. Liv, how are you doing? Tell us the best thing that happened for you today on this Monday.
Today?
Yeah.
I think it was just spending the day with my teammates, watching some Christmas movies.
I love it. Okay, I need to have a follow-up with that. Do we have a favorite Christmas movie?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I like the Christmas Without Santa. It's the one where it's like the Christmas miser and
yes, Snow
I
Miser.
don't know that one.
Yes.
Yeah. I like those ones.
Old school.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, Liv. All right. I love it. Let's talk a little hoops. I would love to hear this past week. You averaged just under 15 points a game. What's coming for you offensively, this past week and even just this season?
Definitely this season, working on being double teamed. I think that's a big thing that me and Coach Kylie, Coach Molly have been working on. And even during practice, just our scout players, like double teaming me and me kicking it out and bursting to the next block and just posting up there strong.
Olivia, just looking at this past week, you guys had a stretch where you went up against some really tough opponents. I know you nearly had Penn State beat on their home floor. That was an impressive game. So to come back last week with 2 wins, including the big rivalry win over Rhode Island, what stood out to you about your team in that 2-game stretch last week, also beating Yale?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think what really stood out, especially this year compared to the previous years, is just fighting to come back. So obviously we were down a lot in the first quarter versus Penn State. And I don't think in the previous years we would have had that fight to come back and be close with them. Again, with Rhode Island, we were down by maybe like 4 at half, I believe it was. We had to fight to come back. And yeah, I think that's really what's bursted our energy.
I'm curious to know now, do you feel like you have the fight because of head coach Erin Batth?
Yeah.
Because she was someone that we were watching this season. We were excited, right, guys? I remember doing our first initial podcast and she was a guest and we were so excited to bring her to the league. And so you mentioned this fight. Tell me what you like about playing for Coach Batth. What's been different in terms of the culture and how you guys are able to be successful right now?
Yeah, I think the positive atmosphere is the biggest thing. She's positive on the court, off the court. She's more like a friend than a coach, to be honest with you. Yeah, which is great. It's something that we really needed. And she's the same whether I'm on a Zoom link with her, talking in a group meeting, or if we're in the gym, or if we're talking one-on-one. Like, she's going to be the same no matter what. So,
what's maybe the biggest thing you've learned from her so far this season that might not even be basketball related?
I think just to have confidence. She tells us every day to have confidence in yourself, to have confidence in our teammates, our sisters. I think just to treat everybody fair. Just have a lot of confidence in yourself because it'll show on the court too.
And Olivia, just to go back a little bit to you personally, averaging 15 on the season, shooting 58%, just about 8 rebounds per game. Those are all career highs for you in your junior season. I know you mentioned, kudos to that, first of all. You mentioned working on, dealing with double teams and how to attack that. What other areas of your personal development would you say have taken a leap this season, and how was that able to happen?
One big thing that you guys may not know, you probably do know, but last year and the previous year, we did pack line defense. So I've been really working on changing my defense from pack line to Coach Erin's defense. That was a big step for me, and as well as all my other teammates who were we were trained to do pack line. That's what we've done all our college careers and stuff. So I think just changing my defense and being more of a going back to my high school, being more of like a help side, trying to get the blocks from, going from help side to helping on the other side with like the blocks and stuff. I think just redoing that, reintroducing it to my game again. That's been a really big thing.
We love defensive improvement too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yes.
We do. Liv, how have you seen your teammates get better in this short season? Just with different coach, are there any teammates that come to mind right away that they've been clicking on all cylinders recently and they've like pleasantly surprised everyone around them?
Yeah. I think everybody overall, to be honest with you, everybody's had that confidence boost from Coach Erin. And I mean, some people I want to point out from last year, you guys know, Emily, Bryn, Cammie Ludwig, they've all had a big boost. Emily and Bryn have really helped us in these past games. I mean, we're all the reason why we're winning is our confidence and how we've improved. So,
how have you, Liv, stepped into more of a leadership role?
Yeah, so I mean, the previous years I haven't been much of a leader because I've had Janae and Alyssa Geary the past year. So I think now, I think just being a leader by example is more of a leadership role for myself. I'm not really a talker as it comes to like leading people, I guess you could say. I think just leading by example and yeah.
Olivia, I love to hear these answers, and especially with the new coach at the helm, who, as I said, we got to speak with Coach Batth at Media Day, and I could see her being somebody that does these kind of things. Have there been any like activities or team bonding things that you guys have done off of the floor that were really fun, or you think helps make a difference for this start to the season?
Yeah, so so this year is what's been different for us. We've been giving back more to the community. That's something that she really reflects upon a lot. Just giving back, because you never know, one day you might need it yourself. So, giving back, just being a good person overall.
Very cool.
Okay.
I love that.
I have a less chill question. Do you have like a Coach Batth impersonation? Like, is there one thing I feel like, is there one thing she always says that's kind of just a little her? Because she had a few sayings for us when we were talking to her at Media Day. And I was like, I need to take notes. Can you give me like an impersonation?
She got a lot of energy, so. I might have to give you a couple seconds on that one.
We can circle back to it at the end.
Yeah. That is something that's so true.
Yeah.
We'll add that before your bonus.
Time for in the bonus,
okay.
Ladies? Or do we have any more questions? Yeah.
Ooh, I have a personal question first.
Okay.
I need to know this. So, family is extremely important to you, Liv,
Yeah,
and I know on your bio it was listed that you enjoy to camp and fish. I mean, like, how did you get into camping and fishing? Do we have some really good stories from growing up of family vacations or what?
Yeah, so I'm the only girl in like my family, like this part of this generation, all my cousins and stuff. So
how many cousins do you have?
I have a lot of cousins.
And you're the only girl.
All boys besides one. But when I was growing up, she wasn't born yet. So
okay.
Oh yeah. Goodness.
So I'm like the oldest of all the boys in the family.
Yeah.
So one of my cousins, him and my uncle, they own this camp, and we go there every summer. Me and all the boys, my uncles, my cousins, my brothers, we all go there. We have a fishing competition, and it's just nice, Yeah.
How do you win a fishing competition? Like, what is it? The weight of the fish, the number of fish? Yeah. I know nothing about fishing.
I think more of it's like how much you catch, because at the end of the day, we're just gonna fillet all of them and cook all of them. So I guess whoever catches the most and the biggest one obviously gets a prize. So
do you cook the fish?
Yeah. Oh no.
No, someone else does that.
No, not me. My uncle.
Do you have a prized fish that you've caught yet? Like, can we get a size? Biggest one.
My brother, he catches big ones. I don't know.
She goes like this. People,
We need you to bring out
I don't know if
the
you saw
flopping
me.
fish right now.
Like, yeah,
That's very cool.
pretty crazy.
I love that. That is
Yeah,
so
I'm a
fun.
big family person. My
Oh.
my parents, they come to every single game. Like
Aw.
even the
That's
away
amazing.
ones, my mom comes to every single game. So
All right.
That's awesome. That's a blessing.
Yeah, I think.
And
Follow
with-
up. Follow up.
follow up, Kim. I got this. As we're in the family, because I love this too. Speaking of family, your dad, basketball player himself, wore 31. You wear 31. How important was that when you got to choose your number to wear your dad's number?
it was very important. Growing up, as you know, I played soccer, so 31 was my number for everything. High school, my dad wore the number 30, so in high school I wore the number 30. And now I'm in college. He wore the number 31 in college. I'm number 31 in college. So it's very important, just to represent him and all the hard work he's put in. And in high school, my two younger brothers are in high school. One of them wears number 30 and the other one's 31. So
I love it.
All right. Now is it time,
Awesome.
Meg?
In the
All right.
bonus.
We have our final segment with you that we do with all of our guests. It's called our In the Bonus Rapid Fire. So basically, it's 5 questions since you need 5 fouls to be in the bonus. And answer them however you want. And we may have a couple follow-ups too as we go through them. All right. Number 1, favorite place to eat in Providence?
Providence Burger Bar.
Ooh, I feel like Providence is known for that Italian
Love
food.
it. It is
on Federal Hill.
I like that you went another way.
Yes.
I like that you went
And I'm
another way.
Italian, so that.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's just because we have a lot of memories there. Like our team goes there a lot. So.
Oh, what's your favorite thing to order from the burger
Yeah.
bar?
Burger
Market?
Bar.
I already.
I get the PBB, a double burger, double patty. No pickles, no onions.
I'm with
No
you.
pickles.
No pickles for
Love
me.
pickles.
Okay.
No, not a pickle
No
person.
onions.
All
I
right,
love a pickle.
ladies, we're adding this to our Big East menu of trips.
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
amazing.
Second one, something you are currently watching or reading or listening to, some content you're consuming.
Well, I always listen to my Machine Gun Kelly. It's my favorite artist.
Oh,
Really? I feel like I've never met anybody.
Wow. Liv, come on. girl.
Nice.
I love that. You've been up here for me. You just went even higher. I love that.
I would say Meg just went crazy on that right now. She like jumped almost in the tree.
good, I'm glad to
Yeah, Meg.
Love it.
so
Love
that's like the pregame hype
Oh yeah,
too.
all day.
MGK?
Yeah.
I love that.
It's my alarm when I
Machine
wake up in the
Gun
morning. To be honest
Kelly.
with you.
Oh, you must be jumping out of
That's
bed.
amazing. If you guys haven't listened, like Machine Gun Kelly is like
Hardcore, right?
like punk rock. Like
Yeah.
so yeah, like that's what you're I love that. That's what you
Maybe
wake up
if I
to.
woke up to that, I would
I
be
knew
able
that.
to get out of bed without hitting snooze multiple
Yeah.
times. I have to give it a try.
What song?
song?
I like
Not
I like
sure.
the mainstream solo album, the Tickets to My Downfall album. Those two are just my every song in both those albums, word for word.
So is it like the alarm? Is
it's-
it one of those? Like
Do you
is
know
it
a
on
song?
a
It's
shuffle?
called "Acting
Or-
Like That," featuring Machine Gun Kelly. It's like starts off with like the hardcore like drums. So that's it. Yeah.
And that's what's
Yeah.
waking you up.
Good for you.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, number 3, favorite off day activity.
I think just hanging out with my teammates in our rooms, watching a movie. This time of the year, watch the movie, have some hot chocolate.
I'm loving these Christmas vibes right now. She showed us all her lights before we went live. They've got the Christmas
Yeah.
movies, hot cocoa. I love that.
Oh, God.
I feel like I need you guys to do like a TikTok, like, showing,
All
like
right.
getting everybody together and then making
Yeah,
that
I'll
chocolate
at you
and
when I
sitting.
make
I feel like that would be such cute content. No?
If
Yeah.
you guys make one, we can
Little TikTok.
maybe we can edit it into our
Please,
episode or
please.
something.
Appreciate
Okay.
that.
I'll let them know tomorrow.
Yes.
We'll get you guys
Ooh,
You in
dope.
the bonus.
There we go. Little jingle
All
bells
right,
in the
2
background.
questions left.
Here we go.
You kind of already answered this with the fishing, but there might be something else. A talent or skill that you have outside of basketball.
I think Probably, this is like really random. So I obviously played soccer growing up. I can head the ball really well, so I can do like 100 some odd headers in a row.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't think many people know that either. So
That's awesome.
It's too bad
Hey,
Lisa's
that's
not
dope.
on tonight.
That's-
Lisa's our other co-host who played
That's
soccer at
dope.
Marquette and does a ton of soccer coverage. She would be loving this right now.
Oh,
She'd have
really?
a million follow-ups.
oh, nice.
What position did you play?
I was center back, and then I got moved to defensive.
I
mid.
could, with the height
Okay,
and the headers,
okay,
like you
dope.
must
Awesome.
just have been dominant out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you. Yeah, I was a striker, and I'd probably be a little scared of you running by you. So yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I
Did
got
you
all the headers.
consider
all
playing
over the short
soccer at
people,
all
so.
instead of basketball in college?
Yeah, until about
Mm.
till I was in like 10th grade.
And that's
It
the
was
best
awesome.
part. If you guys didn't know this, Kim and Ice, about Liv, you didn't start playing basketball until high school, correct? Or 8th grade.
Wow.
8th grade. Yeah, 8th grade, 9th. Yeah.
Like, come
Eighth
on.
grade.
That's
tough.
amazing.
It's tough. Glad we got you in the right sport. It's way more fun over here.
me too.
All right, our final in the bonus, rapid but not so rapid fire, because we always have lots of follow-ups.
Sorry.
All right. So it would be your two dream teammates to enter a 3-on-3 competition with. It could be any player in the world, men, women, dead or alive, as we always say. Ice has introduced. You could call up two teammates, and they will be there at the 3-on-3 tournament with you. Who would they be?
Jeez, this is a hard one. Oh my goodness.
This is the one that
Um,
requires a
yeah.
lot of thought. We
I have
know you're
one.
like the center. You could be maybe a little bit of a stretch 4.
Right.
So you
I have
need
one.
good shooter,
That
good
would
passer.
be- One of them definitely would be Meghan Herter.
Aw.
Met from last year, my best friend. That's the reason I started playing basketball, because her dad recruited me to play AU with her team, and then we came
Wow.
to Providence
I love
together.
That's
So yeah,
a
she knows
nod.
how to find me the ball, and she just knows how I maneuver as well as I know how she plays. So definitely her. And then, oh geez, I don't know.
Could be a pro
Somebody
player.
I probably need like a bigger person.
You can take someone from the W.
Like a
You can take someone.
Let's go with Shaq or something.
There
Throw him
we
some
go.
lobs.
Shaq.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay. Have a little bit of fun while you out there too. Funny
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, might as well be
We love
entertained.
it.
All right, that's
Yeah.
a solid team. So you completed in the bonus. We do just have the asterisk question if you've thought of a Coach Erin Batth impression.
You thought you were getting away with this one.
If you didn't, that's okay.
Yeah.
We can circle back at one of your games or something.
Did you live on the broadcast post game?
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good to me. I'll try to write it down.
Liv
and
could
remember.
not. She took that out real fast. She was like, "All right, cool, I'm done."
Yep.
Yeah.
I know I
Escape
have
route.
you.
Take
I
it and
have
run.
you guys in early January. I'm gonna follow up at shoot around and say, what do we got here?
Okay. I promise I'll remember.
We love it. Olivia Olsen, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of In the Bonus. This was so fun.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Olivia.
Thanks, Liv. Best of luck.
Thanks.
So I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I genuinely think I'm gonna test having Machine Gun Kelly wake me up in the morning. I just think I need to. I'm gonna have a little Machine Gun Kelly be my alarm after that. That was great. She was so great, so fun.
Yeah, just like a lot of surprises in that interview. Different, and kudos to you for digging up some research and digging on these topics. But I don't know many basketball players who are big into fishing. That caught my eye.
Right.
And the soccer stuff is really fascinating when you think of just like a multi-sport athlete and how that's kind of can transform and have like basketball players think in a different way in terms of other sports they played. That was really cool to hear about.
Yeah, and honestly, to think soccer to basketball, like complete opposites. You're using your feet, and then you're using your hands. Like,
Oh,
it's amazing.
Meg, I feel like I could argue that, but we will never go home. Yeah, like we won't ever get to dinner. But there are tons of crossovers between soccer and basketball.
See, that's what you get when my sister played soccer and I was just her goalie for her, aka it was target practice.
Ooh.
So another episode, Ice is going to debunk everything and give us all of the parallels. We're going to do that. But we do need to get into the games that we are looking forward to this upcoming weekend. A little bit of a quiet week. Kim, I know we chatted about it a little bit earlier. You had mentioned, right? Finals
ladies are in the classroom.
But
grinding.
Ladies are studying. But Saturday they're out of the classroom, and we've got some good ones on tap.
Yeah, we have a really great weekend queued up here. I'm going to mention 3 games involving Big East teams that I'm looking forward to. 2 huge non-conference games. We're going to start with Saturday at noon at the XL Center. We're talking about the Huskies starting to figure things out. A 2-0 week last week. They have the number 18 Louisville, and I'm saying Louisville. I'm not putting on a fake accent. You know, this is a Big East podcast. A lot of Northeasters. We say Louisville. The game is in Connecticut. Okay, Louisville is invading the XL Center for a top 20 matchup there. That is on Big Box at noon. And then
love it.
Another intriguing one for me. We talked about the Seton Hall Pirates last week, flying a little bit under the radar. Huge opportunity for Tony Bazzella's Pirates. I forgot to write down the game time, but this is also on Saturday. Pirates are hosting the UNLV. I think they call them the Lady Running Rebels, who, you know, may not jump off the page at you, but they are actually undefeated. They moved into the AP Top 25 today at number 23. They are rolling through teams. I think they just beat Arizona and Oklahoma like easily. So this is a huge test for Seton Hall in terms of where they fall in the Big East, where they fall on the national radar with NCAA tournament hopes. You want to get firmly on one side of the bubble in March, this would be a huge win for Seton Hall. So that is also Saturday. We'll get the game time for that.
That game's at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Love it. Love it. And then we mentioned Creighton Marquette on Wednesday. We got a couple of these Big East conference games peppered in here. They go back to conference play non-conference before we're fully into conference play at the end of the month. But big one, we have Villanova at St. John's at Madison Square Garden Saturday night. Why does this one specifically intrigue me? I think these are 2 teams that are in similar boats. Villanova and St. John's both had amazing years last year. They were in the top tier of the Big East. They had good success in the NCAA tournament. And then both of these teams lost a lot and have been a little bit inconsistent in non-conference play. They've had some tight wins, or they've had some tight losses, teams that you wouldn't expect them to lose to. Then they've had some nice wins. I would describe it as a little bit of this, specifically St. John's a little bit more so. So this is a really fun matchup early on as well. Nova at St. John's at the Garden on Saturday night. That's going to tell us a little bit about how this league is going to start to stack up this year, I think.
And then how does the weekend wind down on Sunday, Ice?
Wind down. I don't know if this is winding down because I just feel like every time we talk about Creighton, they have a tough game. Yeah. And they have another tough game. This time it's against Drake. What do we know about Drake? I'll tell you something good. Drake scored 90 points against Iowa. That's number 4 Iowa. That's the Caitlin Clark Iowa that we talk about all the time. Drake, a consistently very good mid-major program. I'm really excited. I think this reminds me of their matchup with Green Bay. Kim and I were talking about that earlier, and then how they were able to bounce back in the Cancun Challenge. I just feel like Creighton consistently has tough games this non-conference, but they've been winning and getting better. And then Georgetown takes on Wake Forest also on Sunday. This is a good challenge for Georgetown just to continue and build off of that momentum. Wake Forest only 3-7. They've lost to some teams that historically they should have beaten, and so I think they're having a rebuilding year. And so it's going to be a good test for Georgetown to get a win there. And then lastly, just national game, just to put your eye on number 10 Baylor and number 24 Miami. They're playing on Saturday. That game at 5:00. It's only on Big 12 Network and ESPN Plus, but that's a very good matchup. I mean, I really like what Nikki Collin has been able to continue to do at Baylor after Kim Mulkey left, and can, bring in a new staff, retain players, continue to build. They're now number 10 in the country. And then same thing with Miami. I mean, an ACC team. I love to see them crack into the top 20, top 25. And they had obviously a stellar year last year, Elite Eight. And so good to see that they're back and competing. So I feel like we've got a lot of games to go through for the student break. Sorry. What do you call this? School break? Finals week. My brain escaping me.
Those teams are still undefeated too. So someone's getting their first loss. Baylor, Miami.
Go.
DePaul came back and beat Miami. Impressive comeback. Blue Demons maybe starting to take some strides here.
Yeah. Are either of you on the call of any games this upcoming weekend?
I am back in action. I guess I'll highlight this game too on Sunday.
Let's go.
It is Virginia Tech, top 20 team visiting Rutgers. Rutgers just played Indiana pretty tough. I think it was a 10-point loss over the weekend. So that's on FS1 Sunday. I want to say 5:30. So check out that one too.
Baby.
Nice.
I'll be tuning in. Ice, are you anywhere?
I have a Princeton men's basketball game.
Talk about a hot team.
Yeah, I was going to say, I love going over there talking about Mitch Henderson and his team. Like, they're so fun to watch. High IQ basketball. They've got a really good superstar having a breakout year, Matalako. So it's a local game for me. I get to drive 50 minutes, no airport, no suitcase, just me and my work, and knock out the game on Wednesday. But that's about it. I'm excited to watch all these games. This is honestly my catch-up week, the break I get before conference play. Like, we're really, really in it. And so I'm excited to watch some really good basketball.
Mm-hmm. Same. I will have my booty posted all weekend long watching these games. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Hopefully it's disgusting outside so I don't feel guilty sitting inside watching hoops. Right? That's how we justify it. Are you guys ready for my close?
Yeah, also great Christmas.
Are we ready?
Love your Christmas tree.
The episode 7, wrap this up, right? I'm going to put it underneath my Christmas tree. How about that? Cute. Okay. Be sure to subscribe to In the Bonus by the Big East Conference on your preferred podcast listening platform, such as iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, Deezer, TuneIn, Radio Public, Pandora, Overcast, Odyssey, Samsung Podcast, Pocket Cast, Player FM, Simplecast, Apple Podcasts, as well as the Big East Conference YouTube page. And make sure to like, share, and review. You can also visit bigeast.com for more conference news and information. We'll see you next week for another episode of In the Bonus.
Got the balloons. Am I working yet? Nothing.
You guys are going to be steady.